Hello everybody, and welcome to the 1 millionth episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. Actually, let me spit out my gum, one sec. What's a classy way to do this? I feel like how you know you've made it in life is if you are in a position where you could say two things. You could either say, I need a pen, and someone hands you a pen, or you say, I need to spit out my gum, and someone hands you like a napkin or a paper towel. I mean, to me, paper towel already means you're kind of doing well. Maybe better than some of the rest of us. Like, anytime anyone has paper towel in their house, I'm like, it's pretty fancy. I just didn't grow up in a paper towel house. In fact, if we had paper towel, it was like, oh no, you can't use it. It's like, don't waste the paper towel. But then it's like, well, what is the paper towel for? Or it's like when people are like, oh, we can't get the tablecloth dirty. It's like, well then, what's the point in having it? Or when those types of things like cost a lot of money, when it's like a fancy tablecloth, it's like, or a fancy apron. It's like, the point of this was for it to get dirty. Like, if you're more protective over your fancy apron than you are of the clothes you're wearing underneath, you might as well just go for it. I'm sitting in some quite brutal traffic, but I've had kind of like a personal win. Speaking of which, I was looking around and I'm like, wow, like there's not many people with their windows open, because obviously like I've been staring at the same 4 cars for 45 minutes. Like, I'm truly not moving. And I was like, how are they not like how is it not hard to breathe with their windows up? And I'm someone who, like, I'm in a hoodie right now. Like, I'm cold. I'm a cold person. If you couldn't tell, we just got to be honest. I'm a cold-hearted snake, and it takes a lot for me to be warm. But then I realized, the people around me probably all have AC. That's too bad. I would love to one day live in a world where I have air conditioning, because I'm just sort of used to not having in my car like any features above a wheel and 4 tires. And that's not to complain, like, that these are the cars I select. Like, I'd rather spend less money on the car than have all those like bells and whistles. Now, is air conditioning a bell and whistle? I don't know. But then I remembered, I was like, I feel like last year I did get my air conditioning in working order. But then, because I'm negative, I was like, no, but like, it never works. Like, I've done that before, and for some reason it never works more than 1 year. Like, I'll fix it for the summer, and then by the time it gets hot again, it's been like a whole year, and like wear and tear has taken its wear and tear, and it stops working. So like, I almost didn't even try it. And then I thought, you know what? How great of a serotonin boost would it be to realize that I, in fact, do have air conditioning? So, I'm happy to report I tested it, I tried it, which is always a gamble, because you run the risk of, like, just blowing hot, because if it doesn't work, obviously, and I think even if it does work, it'll start off, like, just blowing hot air. So I was like, I might be, like, making matters worse for myself. I might have to take off my hoodie. I'm not committing to anything. But if hot air started blasting in my face, like, yeah, maybe it was time to take the hoodie off. But I'm so happy to report I actually do have air conditioning. If I didn't have air conditioning, this episode of the Nobody Asked for This would not be possible. So this episode of Nobody Asked for This is brought to you in part by my air conditioning. Please support my air conditioning, because the air conditioning supports the show. Because if I had the windows down and there were cars beeping and honking and people, getting into fender benders, unfortunately, not that I was a witness to that today, or like even the weird noise that comes out of my car. This is really great. If you listen to the last episode, I spent about 20 minutes certain but not really sure 100% that there was a kind of wheezing noise coming from my car. I'm not 100%, I'm not ready to commit, but I'm about 99% certain that it is, in fact, my car that the wheezing noise was coming from. Like, I was trying to blame it on the trucks, I was trying to blame it on the road, I was trying to blame it on the radio. No, it is unfortunately my car. Now that I can put on the air conditioner that I didn't know I had, I can just blast that to, 5 out of 5 fans, and we won't even hear the noise. So in theory, I've solved 2 problems. I've solved it's hot, and I've solved the wheezing noise. Now, is not being able to hear something a solution? In this situation, yes. Yes, it is. My point in being, I don't normally buy the fancier end of things when it comes to cars, nor do I really buy into the, when your car beeps at you and says, oh, change this, change that. I don't think I've ever, I don't want to say fallen for it, but I don't think I've ever gone for what they want me to go for. And I feel mixed ways about that. In one sense, it's like, yeah, do you. Because here's the thing, the car's still running. It's like when you go for an oil change and they tell you, like, your the liquid coming out of your car is, like, not the color it's supposed to be. And, like, yes, does that sound bad? Yes. Is that probably not a good sign? Yes. But, like, does that mean I have to change this all, like, right now? See, that's the thing I don't know. But in the meantime, I'm not going to. And they've been telling me for years that, like, some liquid is off, or I need to, like, service my transmission or something, and I haven't done it. And here we are. Now, again, there is that wheezing noise. So maybe I'm only starting to, like, see the downfall. But until this point, I've been all good. I have been all good. And that's something to celebrate. I hope everyone had a great week. We are at the end of May. When you are listening to this, it'll be the day before the last day of May. It'll be the end of May Eve. Which of course means I'm recording this on the end of May Eve. Which that is so weird. In one more month, a mere 4 weeks, we will be halfway through the year. I feel like I've just grasped the fact that it is 2025 and it's about to be over. Well, not about to be over. This is why, no wonder time flies so fast. We're wishing it all away. But, like, actually, this is kind of crazy. Almost as crazy as this traffic. I feel like every day the traffic gets, like, 1 minute worse. Like, is there not a solution? But here's the thing. I have to call myself out because I have a talent, okay? And my talent is I can't complain about anything. I'll complain about the problem, but then I'll also complain about the solution. So I've been complaining about the wild construction that has been happening. Every road I turn on, we're constructing. But, like, it is possible that they're constructing to widen these roads, which would then make less traffic. Now, the problem is, I don't like traffic either, so, like, I guess I'm pro the construction that's happening, but I also don't want to exist in the construction. I would like it to be instantaneous. Very Gen Z of me. Every once in a while, I show my Gen Z qualities. I like to think I'm not so typical Gen Z. I do not have a TikTok. I do have a podcast. Is that Gen Z to have a podcast? But no one listens to it. So it's like, if a tree falls in the woods, do you really have a podcast? I think I'm hearing the wheezing noise again. Also, apologies if the audio is getting bad, because I have picked up speed, thank goodness. And as much as I, wish that I didn't have to talk over the sounds of the road, I can't complain about that because I was just complaining about how we weren't moving. See? There I go again. I have to be a bit more positive. It's funny, I don't think I'm necessarily, like, a negative person, but, like, negativity comes really easily to me. Like, do you know those people that just walk around and you're like, oh my gosh, you are so nice. Like, you just seem like a nice, kind person. I'm definitely not one of those. And I think if people think I'm one of those, I unfortunately have them fooled, because what people don't always hear are the thoughts that I have in my head. Ones that I can't control, but to be honest, like, are not all sunshine and rainbows. Like, just if we're being honest. So I think that's the dissonance. It's like, I know, and I realize I'm complaining about people calling me nice. It's very nice to be called nice, but I do usually correct people and be like, no, I'm actually really mean. But I don't think the word is mean. I think the word is negative, which you could spin into realistic. Because there is such a thing as toxic positivity, which I think I also practice in some ways. Not to get too deep. Okay, anyway, let me read this sign and see which way we're going. I have to go... Okay. One sec, let me coordinate with Siri. Excuse me, you know it's bad when you have to check Apple Maps, like, just to get home. Like, what the heck? Let's see. Okay, good news. Or not good news, but good thing I did check with Siri because she changed up on me. She loves to do that. I'll be at my, what's the opposite of a destination? I'll be at my point A, and she'll tell me to take one route to get to point B. And then she'll decide halfway through, you know what? Screw it. We're going to go a different way. Now, you could argue I do that with topics on the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I do a lot of like, we're going to start talking about this and then move to this and then we're going to do a third thing and then a fifth topic arises. So I get it. But good thing I checked. I did get a period of time, about a 2-minute period, where I was not in traffic. So that was fun. Yeah, traffic's the worst, but traffic really is what you make it. I've long thought that there should be like traffic, like functions. Like we could do karaoke, we could do like a community meeting. Do you know a lot of those, like a strata meeting? Now, I guess for it to be a strata meeting, it would have to be everyone from the same building in the same amount of traffic, but it also is not so unrealistic that people in the same building would be on the same commute. But like, why don't we just roll down our windows and start chatting? You know, like, what the hell else are we doing? Tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're going. Literally, figuratively, however you interpret that. Like, I have nothing but time. There's a counter that I'm staring at that says essentially how much time left before I can be in any way productive. It's like I am on ice for the next hour and 9 minutes. And have been for the last half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. Like, what's that movie where they're stuck on the spaceship for 40 years, but then, like, one of them accidentally wakes up and then wakes up another one? Which, like, that was very unethical. That was not the neighborly thing to do. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like, I know I'm stuck in this pod for 2 hours. But the worst part is you have to pay attention. Maybe the moral of the story is I just get a car that drives itself, which I don't... Is that legal yet? Oh, there's someone just walking on the side of the freeway. Also, where are the freeway drive-thrus? Like, I understand it would probably cause like a little bit of like some chaos, but like it's already chaos. So like, can we do like controlled chaos? Can you put us down for that? I don't know. I would like a crisp Diet Coke, and like if there was a fast food place that was willing to offer me that, like, I would take it. And I would pay a premium. Because, did I tell you I have air conditioning? So I'm, like, kind of like a fancy person these days. I can, like, take phone calls when it's hot. Because for a while I couldn't do that. Not that people are, like, clamoring to get on the phone with me. But, if they were, I could answer them. I think I do want to get to that point in my life where it's like, I just have a call. There's nothing better. There's no better excuse than like, I have to just take this call, 1 sec. Or like, I just have to make a call. Sometimes I say that to get out of a room, and I don't have to take a call, and I don't think that the person who I'm saying it to believes that I would have to take a call, like, especially if they know me well enough. It's like, well, who are you calling? But it's just the best. Like, it's a quick sentence, and you can pretend like you could be really rude and pretend that the phone's already ringing, and you like half answer it. I gotta take a call. 1 sec. Yeah. After my call, I have a call. And now when people say call, they usually mean Zoom, but they used to mean like phone call. I prefer a phone call. I don't love that we're like now incorporating video into all of this. Like, I don't need Instagram. I don't need anyone to see my face. Like, let's just bring it back to basics. Good old voice note. Not that I think my voice is pleasant to listen to be honest. Like, it's a little bit rough, to say the least. But it's better than my face. Like, I'd rather my ideas lead the way than, my jawline. Also, I do want to clarify something. I do know the way to my house. I made it seem like I needed to check Siri Maps to tell me like which way my home is. I do know that. It was just, I needed to know the fastest route. And for some reason, I need to see the visual map because it always makes, my regular route home sound more complicated than it is. It'll be like, and then you have to turn here, and then you have to turn here, and then you're going to turn into here. And I'm like, that's a lot of turning. And then I realized that, like, no, that's like the sequence of turns that I do every day. It's just like, you would have to write it out, like, as if someone who's never done it before. But it's just me. Because I was looking at the route it was telling me to go. I'm like, is this like a NASCAR race? Like, is this like a part of the PGA Tour? Or no, that's golf. Is this part of the F1? Are we in, where were they, Monte Carlo? And no, we're not in Monte Carlo. We're just on the regular suburban roads that I drive every day. I'm now going over a bridge. Should I tour guide? A visual tour guide? I would be a terrible tour guide. Like, any profession where you would have to, like, speak but stay on topic, loop me out. I could do the talking part, but I would not stay on topic. I'd start talking about, like, myself, probably. That's the kind of thing that has stopped me from being, like, a counselor. Like, I thought for a little bit when I was in school, like, maybe I would go for that. But, like, I don't know. I don't trust myself to not just be like, oh my God, that's so terrible that happened to you. One time, when I was 12, and, like, it just turned into, like, counseling for me. Although I am good at, like, asking people questions. Like, I feel like sometimes, like, when there's, like, awkward silence, or just silence that's not awkward, like, I go to fill it, and I normally fill it by asking people, like, questions about them. So not to brag, I'm, like, not the worst person, because I feel like a worse thing would be to start doing, like, a 10-minute set about my own self. Like, that would be annoying. But I'll ask people, like, oh, so, like, my go-to question is, how many siblings do you have? Because, one, I actually think that can tell you a lot about someone, but two, it's just, like, it's a great starting off point. Because there really is there's obviously no wrong answer, but, like, even if you have zero, like, there's something to talk about there, It's like, oh, so how did you like that? Even though that's not the best question, because it's like, what do you mean, how did I like it? Like, that was all I did. Oh, I think I listened to Siri incorrectly. One sec, let me check. BRB. Okay, I'm back. Not that you would have noticed that I wasn't here, but anyway. Unclear. I don't think I made a wrong turn. I think I'm following the path. And it's actually not as bad. It's that the estimated time of arrival has gone down about 4 minutes. Now, whether that is because the traffic has started to dissipate, or I have been, too busy talking about, the neighborhood block party I want to start in traffic, and paying a bit less attention to that speedometer thing. I mean, you can't speed in traffic, so there's no way I was speeding. So it has to be the former. Or the latter. I don't really know how that works. I think latter is the second one. And then former is the one you said before the latter. The former Pilates. I don't know if this is just a where I am thing, but I feel like anytime there's a freeway, there's like a side road next to it where you can also drive on. And I always wonder, like, what happens on those side roads? And also, that side road looks empty, so why am I not there? Like, why does Siri not know about that road? Like, if the freeway is so clogged and we're doing all this construction to widen the roads, like, maybe we have the solution. And then I always wonder, like, are these the roads that, like, the horses and buggy would travel? Because I don't think they were going on the freeway. And also, like, how long does it take to, like, build a freeway? Like, the infrastructure of a freeway and, like, bridges and stuff. Because that sounds awful. Like, as much as I feel like there's construction all around us, all around me, I'll speak for myself. Like, I can only imagine the construction when, like, modern civilization was coming to be. Like, that just seems nuts. But I guess it probably happened more gradually than I'm thinking. So maybe it wasn't so bad. I don't know, just thoughts. But yeah, as I said, we're coming up on June, which, as everyone knows, in my mind, the spring months are March, April, May. And they are, but, like, science will tell, or not, we like science here, but, like, the seasonal calendar will tell you that spring technically starts, like, 3 weeks into March. I don't really participate in that. Like, I think March 1st we're at spring, which, if you do the math, means that June 1st is summer. So we're coming up on the first day of summer, not really, but kind of. Which, that is what I call it, the first day of summer, not really, but kind of. So don't forget to celebrate the first day of summer, not really, but kind of. I would figure out the acronym for that if I wasn't driving, but, like, I'm not pulling over and, you know, wasting those 4 extra minutes that I was given back of my time from the spaceship sitting on ice to, you know, write out on a piece of paper what the acronym for the first day of summer, not really, but kind of is. And if, so no promises, but if it is possible for me to use that many characters in a title for a podcast, you mark my words, the episode title of this podcast will be The First Day of Summer, Not Really, But Kind Of. And I'm going to try and find a way to spell it like how I'm pronouncing it. Like, really fast like that. Like, maybe I'll spell it as one word. I feel like singers do that when they try and be, like, cool. Like, when they're naming songs, they'll be like, I need this title to be all uppercase. Why do they do that? Like, just be normal. Or it'll be like, we're not putting spaces. Or, like, in an album, like, every song will end in a period. Which, that is kind of cool. Okay, really bad news. We've stopped again. We have stopped. I'm just going to breathe through it. I'm going to breathe. It's going to be fine. Maybe we do some, what is that called? Not manifestations. What's the other one? It's the other festations. I don't know, maybe it's not. Affirmations. We're going to do our affirmations. The second I learn how to do them, I'm going to do them. Yeah, I can't think of one. Anyway. But yes, it's going to be the first day of summer. I hope everyone has lots of fun summer plans. I'm going to try... What should I do this summer? I always said that this was the year I was going to skydive. I haven't made any advancements on that. Like, I haven't, like, done the work in so many ways. But, I'm thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. It was a lot easier to say that I was going to do it when I said I was going to do it in the summer, and the summer was like 6 months away. But now that the summer is, like, essentially here, not really, but kind of, I'm going to get a shirt that says not really, but kind of. I think that's, like, my personality in a nutshell. I was saying this to someone the other day, which I don't know if this is, like, a positive thing to say about yourself, but I was like, I didn't know whether to feel bad because I was talking down on myself or feel bad because I was, like, hyping myself up. Like, I didn't know which version of embarrassed to be. Because I was like, I'm not great at anything, but I'm, like, 6.8 on, like, a lot of things. And, like, that gets me by. And I just thought, like, wow, how self-aware. But then I was like, oh, am I bragging? But then I didn't want to be like, oh, sorry to be bragging, because it's like you just said you were like a C+ in most things. But like, again, it gets me by. I do lack, if you can't tell, I do lack like a slight bit of common sense. Like there are some things that kind of need to be like spelt out for me. But I embrace that facet of myself as well. Like I think it makes me able to admit when I'm wrong, because to admit that you're wrong, you have to believe that you're wrong, and to believe that you're wrong, you kind of need to have proof of times that you've been wrong. Like the second you stop thinking that you're wrong, you're done. Like the second you lose that grasp on reality, you're done. So I think it is good to be wrong every once in a while. Now, hopefully your wrongs don't negatively impact other people. Hopefully it's just like maybe you were in an argument with someone and you remembered something one way, and then they remembered something another way, and you were so firm in your belief, but then there was concrete proof that you were wrong. I think that's healthy, to be like, oh shoot, maybe I'm not a genius. Because I'm starting to think, again, over 150 episodes that nobody has asked for this podcast will tell you, I might not be, a member of Mensa. Which I don't actually know what that is. I think it's just people like with high IQs. I don't know if there's like meetings, like do they just like get together? What days would the members of Mensa, under the context in which I believe it is, which is like just a bunch of smart people, what days would they get together? I feel like they would love and get a kick out of like Pi Day, like the March 14th or whatever, like just anything to do with numbers. What other like really smart holiday? Who's honking? Like there's traffic. There's nowhere to go. Like where would you like? I don't think that honk was for me. But like there's literally nowhere to go. Like I couldn't go faster if I wanted to. Not to make that about myself. Again, I don't think it was me. But anyway, what was I talking about? See, I'm normally so good about staying on topic. It was just that horn really they lost me. You know what? I feel like in my soul I was saying something good. So let's just leave it at that. Let's just hope I kind of closed that loop a little bit. And we're going to move on. What should I have for dinner? Because unfortunately, I have to make a pit stop at, the good old supermarket, which every time I go to the store, I'm like, I'm just going to run in. I have my list. I know what I need. I'm just going to run in and out, done. And it's never that easy because I get distracted. I'm like, oh, they have buffalo-style Cheetos now? And like 9 times out of 10, I won't even buy the stuff. Like I just like look at it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They have what type of flavor Pop-Tart? And luckily I live in an area where like we don't have that many different types of flavored Pop-Tarts, but like if I was in prime Pop-Tart territory, which would also be a good name for the show, I would be in the grocery store. I would be 24/7 in the grocery store. 24/7. Now I am a bit of a poser because I can't remember the last time I actually had a Pop-Tart, but they're fun to talk about. And now I think they have like Pop-Tart cereal. Do you know what's come back randomly? I have seen so much Barbie themed stuff, but not like Barbie movie themed stuff. Like 2 years ago, every company, every brand, everything was Barbie. Like, and I don't even know that Barbie asked for that. Like, I think they went to like a few companies to promote the movie, and then it just sort of became trendy. So then everyone just decided they were doing Barbie collabs, but like Barbie wasn't asking them to. But I'm starting to see like just Barbie, like Mattel Barbie branded snacks. Like there's a whole wall at the grocery store the other day of like regular snacks that you can get any other time of year, just dyed pink for Barbie. Which, to be honest, it like kind of scared me a little bit. Like I was like, what is in this dye to make it that like hot pink? Now, the irony is all of the food is dyed. Like if something is red, it's not because it's like been flavored with actual cherries. They've been flavored it with like artificial flavors, which delicious, you know. Time and a place for those. But then they just put red food dye. I feel defensive of the red velvet cake. I feel like so many people think it's just chocolate cake that's been dyed red. It's not. It's like, it's more of a vanilla cake that has just like a couple dashes of cocoa, and then they dyed it red. And I think, I have to look into this. I have to read a book on the history of red velvet cake. Maybe that's my next book club pick. But I feel like, and I'm actually making this up, I feel like the reason they would need to dye it red is to differentiate it from regular chocolate cake. Because the second you put something like the cocoa powder into something, like it probably turns the color of chocolate cake, but it's not a full chocolate cake. So they probably needed to go like so far the other way, or not so far the other way, but like far enough that you knew like, oh, see, this is red velvet, which only highlights the difference between chocolate cake and red velvet even more so. Because if you go into a red velvet cake expecting chocolate, you're going to be disappointed. But if you go in expecting vanilla, you're also going to be disappointed. Or not disappointed, but you're not going to get what you're thinking. Like, red velvet is a specific flavor. And then if you throw enough cream cheese frosting on anything, it's going to be good. You know what's funny? Red velvet really has stood the test of time. I feel like there's so many flavors that like were trendy or like had their moment and then they kind of go away. Like, don't get me started on like spicy dill pickle, hot honey. I love both of those flavors, but like there was a time where everything was spicy. Well, it started, I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Everything was chipotle flavored. Everything. Chipotle. Like even things that did not have one hint of chipotle, which I recently learned that a chipotle is just like a roasted or something jalapeno. Did not know that. Again, love jalapenos. I love spicy food. I think it should be spicier. But I don't know why that was relevant. But like, I'm not complaining about the spice, okay? Was I complaining? I can't remember. What was I talking about? I think this heat has gone to the heat has gone to my head. Not the heat from the chipotle. I can handle that. Just the heat from the sun. What was I saying? Oh yeah, everything was chipotle flavored. Whether or not there was actual like chipotle pepper in it. Like we were just calling it chipotle. You dash the taco seasoning, Wendy's is selling you a taco or a chipotle burger. It's like, okay, fine, I'll believe you, but like not really. First day of summer, really good up, but not really type thing. And then everyone decided everything has to be not only dill pickle, but spicy dill pickle. Now, anything from a store that I've gotten that says spicy dill pickle is not actually spicy because they're not going to make something really spicy because then people aren't going to buy it. But then it's kind of stupid to even call it spicy because then if people think that they don't like spicy, why would they buy something called spicy? Like they're not going to even give you a shot to find out that it's not actually spicy. So that whole thing is confusing to me as well. And then recently we've come up and everything is hot honey flavored. Now, spicy dill pickle hasn't fully gone away, but hot honey has definitely started to take over. And by started, I mean like is starting, like has been taking over and is continuing its reign. But yeah, really those three flavors are, I mean, a marketer's dream. Anytime you need to revamp a brand, if it's savory food, spicy dill pickle. If it's sweet food, put some, dye in it, put some pink dye and call it Barbie. And that's the key to the food world. And with that, I feel good. I feel like I can leave knowing that I did somewhat of my job today. And I only have, we're in the 20s. Not the decade, although we are in the 20s, but I only have 20 minutes left of this awful traffic. So with that, a bit closer to 30. But with that, I'm going to say thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, which I can't imagine that you wouldn't. And to be honest, if this is your first episode, this is one of the better ones. So if this wasn't for you, I totally get it. Probably don't waste your time on the other ones. But if you like what you heard, you can go to podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. On there, you can listen to all of the episodes, all 150-something or other. And, I would appreciate that. Again, no pressure. It's really, it'll make a difference to my joy levels, but, to my finances, we're not there yet. So, listen, that'd be great. there's technically a TikTok for this show. Technically, it hasn't been posted on in about 3 years. So I guess when I said I don't have a TikTok, that was technically a lie, but like technically not. Like I don't even have the login for this one anymore. But yeah, we're really picking up speed here. So I am going to say goodbye. I said that already. So I'm just going to actually say goodbye. Have a great week, and we'll talk next week. Bye.